Hi, it's Scott Chirkwich here again from Gilmore Doculink. Today we're going to be spending a few minutes with Joe Manos from Mindfire Inc. Joe is the Executive Vice President of Mindfire and Customer Satisfaction. And I was looking back, Joe, at the folders and finding a few things as we're going to sit together. It's actually been about 15 years that we've been.
Isn't that amazing?
we've been partners and working on different things together. So thanks very much. Thanks very much for joining me today. So it's been a pretty unique couple of years in the business community, Joe. With COVID and then what it's done to the global supply, fuel costs lately for shipping getting crazy. So I'm excited to hear your perspective on some of the challenges and what you think will be the impact on marketing strategies in the next few years.
Yeah.
So what are a couple of questions you find yourself getting asked the most by organizations to help overcome what we were sort of just talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott, thanks for the time today. We work with all size companies. I mean, some of the best known brands in the world, and small, medium-sized companies, technology companies and services are doing amazing things. So really, to preface this, it really depends on the size of the company and what their focus is, right? And depending on the size of the company, the number one question I'm getting asked, because I'm in 6 to 8 meetings a day, what's the best course of action I can take today, given the circumstances we're facing? Now, depending on the size and scope of the company, are they B2B or B2C? The impact of what's going on in today's world changes.
Right.
So that's why, as you know, when we're working with customers, we've got to listen. We know what type of vertical they're in. But I will tell you this, the one thing that frustrates me is often customers are paralyzed by fear of doing the wrong thing, right? So it's like, how many times have you guys been with your customers? Because you guys got world-class customers too. You've been working with a customer, you got this great program in front of them, and you're like, this is a no-brainer. And they're like, well, Scott, this is pretty interesting. Let me think about it. What? What? The world's coming to an end. What do you mean think about it? Come on, let's get busy here, right?
Yeah.
So, and honestly, today, I mean, I always try to preface every meeting with customers with the statement, look, I'm going to present you some ideas as if I was the EVP of your company, of what I'd be doing based on what I know to help move the company forward, whatever that company objective is. Because that's really the key question. Start with the end in mind. As we're talking with these customers, start with the end in mind. What is it you want to accomplish that you don't have today?
Right.
And, given the circumstances, that could be changing. So that I try to get them thinking about that. What's the focus? And then the other big caveat is, are they looking for new customer acquisition? Or maybe they want to focus on their customer base and grow the customer base, right? Yep. So it really depends. That's my uniform answer. It depends on size and scope of the company, B2B, B2C. What is it they'd like to accomplish? And then we can go to work. And that's the thing you and I know, is that we have so many resources at our disposal today to help customers. Another caveat I tell marketers all the time when I'm meeting with them is, don't shoot the messenger. Right. But most marketers don't know what they don't know. So let's start with what you're trying to achieve, and then let me fill in the blanks, because we live and breathe this 24/7 with some innovative ideas that could maybe help you achieve your objectives.
Oh, that's great. And the loyalty and retention, actually, I got a couple things a little bit later, so you've done a segue into that for me. But before we go to those, so direct mail is dead, right, Joe? It's been dead for 15 years since I've known you, and yet we're still working together and having some of the best results that we've seen in 7 years, 8 years in the last year. What do you tell your clients the key to success in 2022 and with everything that's changed, what's some of the keys to success in the DM world?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, another data point, because I research information 24/7. Another data point most marketers don't know is direct mail is outperforming all digital channels. Right. Let's start there. I mean, you've got a lot of companies spending $5,000, $10,000 or more a month on digital channels. And when we talk digital channels, the first question I ask is, okay, I use digital channels all day, all night. But the question I have for you is, can you show me the number of conversions you're getting from your digital channels to actual new customers or whatever the call to action is? Because they always talk in terms of impressions. Show me the conversions. Because when I meet with marketing execs, the number one gap they're looking for is, Joe, help me identify the conversions. All right, number one. So with direct mail, I can get you the conversions. I can show you exactly how many people we drove to the personalized landing page, to your website, whatever the case may be, depending on the call to action. I can show you the conversion. So we address the number one need of every corporate marketer, small, medium, or large. I can show you the conversion. So they look like rock stars. The other thing I would say about direct mail is less is more. Tight messaging and creative that pops. Clear call to action. Offers matter in today's world. And absolutely, you have to use a QR code. Right. I can tell you, Scott, all the programs I'm running, small, medium, and large for our customers, the ones that have QR codes associated with the Pearl, we're seeing another 3x to 6x lift beyond the direct mail response from the Pearl. You know, we might get 5, 6, 7% response from the Pearl to the personalized landing page. And then I'm seeing another 250, 300% lift from the QR code. And when you think about that, it makes perfect sense because 60% of us do everything on our phones. So if I could take a picture of that QR code, and they work in today's world, and it drives me to the landing page, I'm answering the questions and getting that coupon, bingo, real-time response, and we're getting big-time lift from the phone. So that's direct mail for us. Heck, let me give you an example. One of our large customers, they've gone from 1 million direct mail pieces a month to 2.5 million direct mail pieces a month because of the results they're getting from the Pearl and the QR codes. It's just off the charts.
Yeah, and it's, you know what, now that when you're saying that about the QR codes and augmented reality and everything, DM is almost a conduit of digital now. Like it can drive more digital than digital can. It can drive more hits to your website than anything else because it's right in front of you, right?
Yeah, and when people ask me, well, Joe, what do you guys do? I say, we take your direct mail and connect it to digital. So you've got the best of both worlds. Because, you know, in today's world, prospects are available on 7 channels and 5 different devices in a 24-hour period. So to the extent that we get more channels and devices connected to where our audience is, guess what happens? Your conversion results go up significantly.
Yeah, no, that makes great sense. I love the activity that's the technology and QR codes versus where it was 5 or 7 years ago. It's so finding, you had mentioned before, whether you're finding new customers, donors, or members, whatever your goal is, it's always a big challenge in an organization's plan. How do you think it plays into the cost to acquire the personalization of pieces, as opposed to, because I do agree with a lot of people when they say DM isn't performing. If you just pray and spray 1 million pieces out to and have no details or know about who you're targeting, I would tend to agree with people. Maybe that's not the best performance. But on a personalization level, what type of things are you seeing for direct mail in that vein?
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in personalization, as you know. I mean, I believe that all of us feel more important when we speak to an individual personally, right?
Yeah.
And hey, Scott, we got an opportunity for you. Okay, tell me about it. You know, that's a great opening. So personalization is essential for success in today's world, whatever the objective. That's just grounded in all the thousands of programs I've seen, the ones that are personalized versus resident or, you know, something non-personalized, they outperform them. The other thing that I try to get marketers to think about is, let's put cost on the shelf for a minute. Right. Because for me, I'm a results-oriented guy. I want to focus on results. Tell me what you need to achieve results-wise for this to be a success. Let's establish that. And when we start to connect the dots of the best way, the best approach for achieving that success, the successful outcome, I like to tell the marketer that, you know, effective marketing doesn't cost more. it actually costs less because you're getting a greater number of interested folks on whatever the call to action is, and we're getting a higher number of conversions. So
Right.
personalization actually costs less than what you said, larger numbers, spray and pray. So that's my belief in personalization. You actually achieve the result you're looking for, but you got to follow the best practices in setting up those programs. And there's so many different things we can do in the world of personalization. Give me an example. I know we ran a not-for-profit program, and because we did have some personalization information about the interest level, we had, let's say, Gladys. She's 65 years old. We know what her average donation is, $200. We know what areas in the not-for-profit that she likes, reading and literacy. And then we got Derek, a young buck over here who's 25, and his average donation is $25. And we know his interest is in hunger and food programs. So if we want to enhance the frequency and level of donations, we need to personalize our message to their areas of interest. And in doing so, guess what happens? All of a sudden, Derek finds another $50 a year that he can donate because we're hitting him with good, tight messaging. The same, Gladys giving us another 200 or 400 a year because she sees the literacy area moving forward based on that highly personalized communication.
Right. It's more meaningful, and therefore you can get, people are going to give more. So yeah, totally. That makes complete sense. And then, and pushing that even further, if you can push them somewhere like through the QR code, like you said, to a website and offer them even more information. So Gladys goes to a learning site, and that's what her QR code does. But the young fellow goes to one on food and for kids and hunger programs. It's an even deeper dive, right?
Plus, we make it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Get them the information. Hey, here's what's new and exciting in literacy programs. We couldn't do it without you. Your donations are springboarding this. Oh, by the way, if you can find it in your heart to give an additional $200, here's what we're going to do next quarter. Click here. Yeah. All on the landing page, right?
Yeah.
Little video too, little video showing, the reading session at the local school. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So the thing you had mentioned in one of the first answers was retention as well, loyalty and retention. I mean, how much of an impact everyone always talks about, if you can just keep an extra 2%, how much that moves your needle on exceeding your goals for the year, because it puts less pressure on the new acquisition part if you're maintaining and getting everything from what you already have. So I've heard many different thoughts on optimum number of contacts in a year in order to keep people engaged with whether it's your fundraising or engaged with your product or whatever it is. What do you talk about for annual touch points? What do you think is a good number to be talking to your existing base?
Yeah, great question. It really, again, one of my favorite answers, as you know, is it depends. It really depends on the size and scope, their budget, like the example I just gave you, how many different programs they have, right? So once we got all that information, then we can, I'm a big believer in the marketing map, then we can orchestrate that map of what the touches should be. And for most not-for-profits, I like to see a cadence, but the cadence is probably different than a lot of your not-for-profits think in terms of. Let me explain. One of my biggest frustrations, I give a lot of money to different organizations that I believe in. I love doing it. But what frustrates the heck out of me is when I give them, what I think is a fantastic donation, and then guess what happens? The next month, what do I have in my mail? Mm-hmm. Another ask. And then, they dress it up by giving me some, a pad and a pen, a couple pens, right? So, can you give me some more money? Yeah. And then the next month, what happens, Scott? They ask again. I'm like, are you kidding me? And all of a sudden, I'm ripping up asks every month, and it's frustrating me. So it makes me less want to give to them, even though I believe passionately in what they're doing. So a cadence that I find much better, and I've worked with a lot of not-for-profits on this, is let's say that this month, let's say it's January. we're going to start off January 2023 with Scott. Did you know? Pick any of the not-for-profits you work with. Did you know this is what we accomplished last year thanks to you,
Right.
your donations? Whether you gave them $10, 25, 1,000, did you know this is what we accomplished last year? And then at the end, but there's so much more to do in 2023. And we'll be back to you with some more updates soon. Okay, so did you know? So we're now building the knowledge of what we accomplished with your donation. Then next month, we're going to have new program intro. In 2023, we're building this new quarter. We're doing this. Can you help us? Very soft ask. And then next month, we have the ask. You know, we share with you some of the exciting programs we have this year, but now we've got our matching, which, you know, it's being overused. We've got our matching funds. This is our big push right now. So we've only asked truly for one donation in the first 3 months, but 2 of those touches, we provided them deep understanding of what's going on. And then the 4th month, guess what? We're educating again. We're not going to say, did you know, but here's some exciting updates thanks to our donors like you. We were able to do ABC. If we're doing the example I gave you earlier, we were able to buy 10,000 more books and supply them in these libraries for children 12 and under. Hungry Helpings, we were able to do this for our school breakfast lunch program. This is the information donors want to know. They want to know that, you know, 89% of the donations went directly to the programs that you're interested in. So did you know? Update on new programs, ask.
Yeah.
New update, new informational program, ask. If you get that kind of routine, your donors don't feel abused, but yet you're feeding them the information they need to understand to want to give you that second or third donation or a slightly larger. One other strategy is real effective. If Joe normally gives $100 to this organization, then when you have your landing page and all of that, the messaging, in the past, Joe, you've given us $100 4 times a year. We can't thank you enough. This program, we've got a bigger ask because we've got more to do. If you could go up to $150, we'd be able to do this much more.
Mm-hmm.
And if you went up to $250, we could do this much more. Can you help us? What we found in our studies for those types of asks is 33% will go up the first level, and we get 28% go in the double level. So they're having that different ask level as part of the click, make it easy as 1, 2, 3 to make a donation. Very, very successful. So again, take a step back. How frequent? We ought to be educating our customers at least once a month, but not an ask every month, because it turns people off and you're going to lose donors. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, no, I think even what you were saying on when you show the additional give, explain not just you can say it's variable to show it, but actually explaining, if we're able to go get this much more from our donors, here's our next goal in the learning program, and here's the silver goal.
Deliverables.
Yeah.
Here's associated deliverables. Yeah. And most people are very willing to help. It's just they need more information, and that's really important for all these books. The final data point is, let's say that as part of the program, which is very often true, we've got our loyal donor base that we're hitting. I just gave you a beautiful strategy for that. But this quarter, we're going to get some new folks in. Well, if you're getting new folks in, a lot of folks have X number of dollars they're donating already. So guess what? If you're going to ask them to shift or find, especially nowadays, find some new donors, right? You've got to educate them again. You got to give them the information on what makes you unique and why they should care. Yeah. Yeah,
and I think actually when you're saying that, not putting your brand new donor into a halfway into a cycle is, I think, important too. Like having an onboarding strategy for how you're going to talk to the new donor for the next couple touch points is something that we've had a lot of success with, rather than, because if they got your third mailing after they had just given, there's your ask again, you know? So well, that's great. Thanks. I really like that explanation of the trickle of the education and then a soft ask and then your hard program. It actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so that is sort of what I wanted to cover in marketing. Now I do have something for you that I call the Chirks Challenge. So it's going to be just a little bit of fun before we sign off. So Mike, I have two boys, and we redid their rooms. They were tired of they're looking like little kids' rooms, right? So they wanted to do it all themselves, and it got me thinking back and having some laughs. So when you were a 12-year-old Joe, when you had your room and you had your posters up on the wall, who was up on the wall when you were 12, 13, 14 years old?
Oh my God. Johnny Bench. I was a catcher in baseball. Big Red Machine. Johnny Bench was up there. Let's see, basketball would have been Magic Johnson.
Okay.
He was up there because I played basketball as well. Those were the two big posters. And then there were some that, as I got older, that we can't mention.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they were tamer back then than they are now, though. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anything you were watching on TV or something you've seen recently that you've been really interested in? Any shows?
We just watched, my wife and I, because I love aviation, but and I like fighter pilots, but we watched Top Gun. It was on Sunday night. We watched that again. And Tom Cruise has another Top Gun movie coming out Friday, today.
Yeah.
So I think my wife wants to go see it. So we watched that recently, and it brought back some great memories. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we can poke all the fun they want, but if I look like that at 59 years old, I'll be
Amen.
happy. Just a couple more. So you've had a great success in your marketing career. What career other than marketing do you think you would have liked to try if it hadn't fell out the way it did?
Yeah, my dad was an Air Force pilot, so I would have I should join the Air Force. That was number one, but I didn't. I got down another path thanks to one of the parents of a kid that I taught how to swim and coached in diving. And then, which would have led to, I would have loved to have been an airline pilot. That would have been fun. But as crazy as the world is that we live into, because you've known me a long time, I'm a black and white guy. If there's a challenge, we've done enough exercise together that point A to point B is how we solve it, right?
Yeah.
And so given how screwed up our government is today, I would have been a great president for this country because I know how to make decisions that matter.
Yeah, the prestige of that office is maybe not what it was 15, 20 years ago, but you'd have my vote, even though it's from Canada, Joe.
Yeah, I take it. I take it.
No, that's great. Thanks very much for your time. Really enjoyed it. Always enjoyed chatting with you. We had to just make this one a little more PG than some of our chats that aren't recorded. So, but I appreciate your time, and I look forward to working with you. Hopefully, if we have some questions on this, then maybe Gilmore and Mindfire can put together another successful program like we have so many times. So,
absolutely love to. Always a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Take care.
Bye-bye now.